Oh, hello, friends. Danny Rufo. Today I'm coming at you from the classroom. All right, the summer's over. I'm back to work. All right, I got kids coming on Monday, so I've been here the last couple of days unpacking my stuff, getting things ready for the students. And I thought you might like to see where it goes down, where I do my work. So in a little while, I'll take you on a quick tour of the classroom. But first, let me tell you a little bit of the history of Delcastle and of this property. Delcastle High School is located off of Kirkwood Highway, near Price's Corner, in between Marshallton and Newport. In that area, Belvedere is right behind us here, if you're familiar. 141 goes right past us. It is along Newport Road and Kiamensi Road. Now, the word Kiamensi is a Lenni Lenape, an Indian word, and the legend has it that Kiamensi was an Indian girl, a Native American woman, and she had fallen in love, but her lover was unrequited love. The lover did not care for her, and out of depression, out of sadness, Kiamensi threw herself from rocks into the creek, and of course, today we call that the Red Clay Creek. But it used to be called the Kiamensi Creek, and that's one of the legends to what the word Kiamensi means. It was the name of the Red Clay Creek originally to the Native Americans. Kiamensi also, there was a spring water. There are lots of springs around here. You know, today we buy Aquafina, Perrier, all these water in a bottle. That's nothing new. They were bottling water at the turn of the century, too. And so there were some natural springs in this area. One of the companies that bottled water around here and sold it, it was called Kiamensi Spring Water. And the label had a little Indian girl kneeling by the creek. So the word Kiamensi is old. It's a native word, and it's been used around in this area. Originally the name of the Red Clay Creek. So Kiamensi Road goes right past us. And this land, of course, would have been wooded a long time ago, and then it was farmland. In 1777, in August, this land almost became very, very famous. You see, the British had just landed at a place called Head of Elk, which today we would call Elkton. And General Howe and his troops were marching, and they were on their way to Philadelphia during the Revolutionary War. George Washington and 10,000 men camped right here in this area, this high ground near the Red Clay Creek and the Christina River, which is down a little further. And this area, George Washington anticipated to fight the British right here. General Howe had different ideas. And so we've heard of Coochies Bridge, the Battle of Coochies Bridge, the battle during the Revolution in Delaware. That little skirmish was a precursor to a battle that George Washington thought was going to happen right in this area. Instead, the British decided to move further north and east, and they decided to cross the Brandywine Creek at a place we call Chad's Ford. And of course, the Battle of the Brandywine took place just over the line in Pennsylvania. That battle was supposed to happen here, but the British kind of outflanked George Washington, and George Washington had to pick up 10,000 men and all of his cannon and all of his supplies and move to go fight the British in a different location. But for 3 or 4 days in August of 1777, this area was a camp. It was a military base for 10,000 troops. And that history, of course, nothing ever happened. They moved on. And so we like to call this almost hallowed ground. There was almost a battle here. And we've gotten some verification on this from some other historians, and people are doing some work to find some more history about that area. So George Washington and the colonial soldiers camped right in this area, probably right where Delcastle is now. Delcastle is kind of on the high ground around here, which is where you would have put a camp in 1777. And listen, 10,000 people in one place in 1777 was like a rock concert. I was like Woodstock. That's a lot of people in one place back then. And so the hope is maybe even one day we'll do a little bit of archaeology, see if we can find buttons and buckles and musket balls or anything like that, any evidence to prove that George Washington was indeed right here for several days. After that, the property pretty much, again, goes to farmland. People began building homes. The railroad comes through in the late 1800s. The tracks of the B&O Railroad still here. And so the land kind of, farmed, orchard. Then at the turn of the century, the state established the Edwina Cruz School for Colored Girls. Edwina Cruz had been the principal of Howard High School when it was established in Wilmington, and the court system saw there was a need for black young women to have a place where, while incarcerated, could learn some different skills: farming, sewing, homemaking, things like that. And so this property was the Edwina Cruz School for Colored Girls. I suppose it was kind of like a Ferris for black girls. And again, that was in the early 1900s, right through to about 1925, 1930. That was this property. And if you see, I've seen old aerial footage. It shows it was basically a farm area with a couple of buildings, a couple of school buildings, a couple dormitory type buildings. That was on this property. At the same time, there was a high school in Wilmington, Delaware called the H. Fletcher Brown Vocational High School. Brown Votech, they called it. They were the Brown Bears. That was their mascot. And I know quite a few people, quite a few Wilmingtonians who graduated from Brown. It was a Votech school, so you had your carpentry, your stonemason. In fact, my wife's grandfather graduated from there as a stonemason, bricklayer. So a lot of the trades, a lot of Wilmingtonians, a lot of people went to Brown. And so Brown was the high school in Wilmington to go pick up a trade. That was located down along the Brandywine River. Today, it's where Hercules High Rise, the Hercules building, big, beautiful glass, modern building. That was where Brown Votech was located. And what was decided was in 1967 or 1968, they decided that they were going to close Brown. The building was going to go away. And they decided to open a new Votech school out of the city, out in the county. And so Delcastle was Brown Votech. They opened this property. They broke ground in probably 67, 68, and then the students began to move. The original students that were at Delcastle started at Brown. So they probably spent a year or two at Brown and then came over to the new building. The decision was made not to call the new building Brown. They moved forward with Delcastle. They took Delaware and Newcastle County, Delcastle, they put that together. A new name, new school colors. Today we have blue and gray. And a new mascot, no longer the bear. Delcastle's is the cougar, the Cougars. So this building was established in 1968. And again, this year is our 50th anniversary, the 50th year that we've been educating students in Delaware, in Newcastle County. And by now we have thousands of graduates that have come through this building. It's a very, very good building. I've been here. This is my 17th year at Delcastle. Coach here, teach here. I enjoy it here. Probably should have came here, right? I don't want my St. Elizabeth buddies to get mad at me, right? We had a good time over at St. Elizabeth, no problem. I enjoyed that. But in retrospect, I probably should have come over here. I could have learned something, fix my own sink, right? Something breaks around the house, I can fix it. As it is, I know how to turn pages in a book. But that's okay, right? But in retrospect, I should have came here. I got a lot of friends that came here. All right, it's a good school. It was a good school then. It's a good school now. So here we are, Delcastle High School. Somebody's rolling something down the hall there. You want to see where I work? You want to see a little bit of my class? All right, it's not 100% ready, you know. It takes me a little while to get everything out and get everything rolling. But I'll give you a quick tour. You see stuff behind me. Why don't we start with that? And you'll see little tchotchkes, little things, right? And there's no necessarily a rhyme or reason. Some of the things you'll see are projects that the kids have made over the years. I stick them up on a shelf. Other things are just things, little things that either a student gave me or even my own kids. Some of their toys make their way here eventually. Or maybe I get a Happy Meal at the McDonald's. I put the little toy up here. There's all kinds of little things to look at around here. And there's no real rhyme or reason. I like to keep the place interesting. And the students, if you look around, you'll see things. It's kind of just my little quirky thing. So let me pick this up, take you on a quick tour. Let me see. We'll start in this corner, right? Just a quick thing. Little bookshelf for. We'll go around this way. So I got a little bookshelf where I keep things. All right, that tent, my kids used to sit in that and read when they were really little. I didn't have the heart to throw it away. Now it hangs here from this. There's a dream catcher that my wife's Uncle Bob gave me. It made its way in, and the students like it. I got little artwork, little battle scenes, all those little posters. One fell. I got to find that one and fix that. These are from the Delaware National Guard, and they show little scenes, little historic battle scenes. Right, just little history scenes, right? There's Korea, right? There's a little bighorn, and there's a little explanation at the bottom. The students check that out. So there's my Venetian blinds, probably from when they built the place. You don't see blinds like that anymore, huh? And we come over here. We got a couple more things over here. All right, that's my printer. This is one of my desks. I have 3 desks because I sit in different places as the day goes on. So this is one place. This is where I sit, where I plug the computer if I'm going to show a PowerPoint, anything with the computer involved. This is where I sit because all the plugs are over here that go to the, where is it? My camera up there, my speaker system. So over here, this is interesting. I'll zoom in here for a second. These are all pictures of students I've had over the years. This is my collection of name badges. Every time I go to a conference or something, they give me another name badge. I got a whole collection of name badges. These are all the students I've had over the years. These are all my graduation parking passes. So you can see I'm a bit of a hoarder, but there's meaning behind everything. This reminds me of stuff. Right? Just little things over there. There's a picture of me one student drew one day. Kind of cool. There's where's that? There's an owl. Student brought in an owl. I got an owl there from the 70s. And then students, sometimes they put little things they drew, little things. All right, so here's the chalkboard. I still use chalk. All right? I still have chalk just in case. All right? So chalkboard I write on. Over here, this is where I put, this changes every day or two. This is what we're going to deal with. So we're starting with civics. So my first lesson is going to be the Constitution, the dynamic process of the Constitution. I teach the Constitution for about a week or two. We break it down, look at all the different articles, and talk about the Supreme Court, and talk about the executive branch, things like that. So that's the first couple of weeks. Just a little bulletin board there with the Bell schedule, stuff like that. Here's some cool projects. Years ago, I had a girl named Leah, and we did a project on moving west, the growth of the United States westward, and they had to either make a pamphlet or try to tell people to move west. She made T-shirt. So they've been hanging there for years now. But that was a project that the kids did a long time ago. These are my bookshelves. I got little newspaper articles, little cutouts, right? Just little things. That most of these little ones on this panel are things that I remember when I was a kid. I got some wrestlers on here, some TV shows that I enjoyed when I was a younger guy. And the students check them out. We talk about it. Up top, we got tchotchkes. There's a painting of the city of Wilmington. I got some little statues. Let me come around here. There's a football from when I used to coach. There's a model airplane from World War II. Right? You see some toys up here too. Again, I can't throw toys away. I feel bad. A little Vince Lombardi action. That's when Nixon resigned. It's a newspaper from that day that we have. There's my Rome my she-wolf with Romulus and Remus. I have to explain what that is to students. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. There's my clock. Pirate ship. I got a Kennedy assassination newspaper over there. There's a guitar. That guitar, it's a plastic guitar that belonged to my brother back in the 70s. And now it lives here. There's Clifford. There's Globe. There's a World War II propaganda that a kid made. I got some swords and shields that students made as projects over the years. Some sheet metal kids, some welding kids. In world history, we were doing the Vikings and the Knights, and so they made projects. Got SpongeBob over there. A couple more things hanging. This will be a later show. Here's Brown. They did a newspaper article years ago on the high schools that aren't around anymore. They did an article on Brown, PS, Wilmington High. One day maybe I'll do a show on the old high schools that aren't around anymore. And then over here we got these. You see there's a whole bunch of them. These are flags that I picked up in 1986 when I went to Italy. And we went to visit the city of Siena. And Siena has a big horse race. Thousands of people come to see it. It's in the center of town, in the piazza, in the square. And it's 3 laps. And it's wild. If you Google it, do a YouTube, there's videos. Put Siena horse race. It's called the Paio or something. I can't remember what the official Italian name is. But it's a horse race around. And each of these flags represents one of the neighborhoods, the Contrada, one of the neighborhoods of this town. And they are medieval. And the winner of each neighborhood, these are like colors, if you think like gangs, if you will. Each of these is a neighborhood, and they each have a horse in the race. And the horse, the neighborhood that wins, has bragging rights for a whole year. So it's a big deal in Siena. It's a big deal. I bought these in 1986, and I remember thinking, I'll hang these in a classroom. I wanted to be a social studies teacher a long time. Astronaut too, but that went out the window a long time ago. Social studies teacher, very much, has always been something I wanted to be. I knew in 1986 I was going to put these in a class someday, and here they are. All right, so these are all my flags from Siena. When I was there and I stayed with some friends, this was the neighborhood that we hung out with the elephant and the tower. They didn't win that year, by the way. And this one shows all of them. This is just a cool one that shows all the neighborhoods with all the different flags and symbols. So that's just a cool thing. There's a Roman soldier helmet hanging on the wall. Got all kinds. There's a Gina's little guitar from when she was little. And then I'm back. I'm back to the middle. All right, I keep all my papers, all my assignments are over here. I got books. I still got an overhead projector. Right? I keep this as an emergency thing. I still have transparencies I made years ago. So this just makes me feel better. That if anything goes down, I still got this. And remember, I always got the chalk. And then you'll see how I have my tables. I have tables. I don't use desks, individual desks. I have the kids sit 5 at a table. At each table, I got a little basket to put their assignments in each day. Each table has a couple dictionaries, all right, because they got to know how to use the dictionary still. I think that's important. And each table has some atlases, all right? I got atlases. Because we do a lot of map work and we check things out. So that's how the front of the room looks. Got some flags up there, an old American flag. That's an Ocean City flag on the other side. And this is my room. I'll just go around like this, give you like a panorama. This is where I teach each day, C209 in Delcastle. And I'll show you my view from the hallway, just so you can, if you're ever in here and you need to find me, I'm near the elevator upstairs, C209. Come out, C209. There's the hall. There's the lockers. There's the other way. And that's where I spend Monday through Friday. 7:30 till whenever I get out of here. All right, so that's it. I teach here, Delcastle High School. All right, so listen, I'll still get some shows out to you. I still got stuff planned. I got some guest hosts. We just need to figure out the times and get everything going. But we will, and you'll see me again real soon. But I wanted to show you where I teach and give a shout out to Delcastle High School. I love it here. Okay? So I miss everybody. Drop me a line, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay? Now, take it easy. Okay? Have a good weekend. And now, we're going to shut her down. I'll see everybody later. Take it easy. Bye-bye.